Okay, we're going to make a simple turtle shell out of this. So the first thing that we need to do is get a nice large oval. Now, when you have a rectangle, a real easy way to make an oval is just to round off the corners. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just make a curved line on the corners. Okay, that's a good start to my oval. Now this is going to become a turtle shell, so we're going to add just some shapes on the back of the shell to kind of make it look like a shell. So I'm going to add a triangle pointing this direction, and then a triangle, or part of a triangle at least, pointing this direction. And then I'm going to connect these triangles. So I'm going to go from here to here. Do you know what this is called? I'll give you a hint. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. This is a hexagon. Now, we're going to make this hexagon. Notice that how I made that fairly large. That's kind of important. So you want to make it pretty big. And then now we are going to go from each corner out to the edge of the shell. So I'm going to go from here out to the edge, here out, all the way out to the edge, and I'm just making a straight line. And we kind of end up with a turtle-like shell. Now it's time to add the colors. All right, before we get started with coloring our turtle shell, I want to talk about the color wheel a little bit. And we're going to just kind of go through our primary colors. We have red, and then we have yellow. This is hard to see, but yellow. And of course, blue for our primary colors, right? Now, if I mix my red and my yellow, I end up making an orange. So I'm going to put orange in between here. If I end up mixing my blue and yellow, I create the color, green. And then red and blue, of course, is going to make purple. Okay, so we have our color wheel here, sort of. We have our primary colors, which are red, blue, and yellow. Our secondary colors, blue, orange, and green. And what we're going to make now is intermediate colors. Sometimes they're called tertiary colors. Both are correct. An intermediate color is when you take two colors next to each other on the color wheel and blend them together. So we have orange and yellow, and if I put them together, I end up with yellow-orange. That's the name of the color, yellow-orange. It's when you take a primary color and a secondary color that are sitting next to each other on the color wheel and blend them together. So we're going to be doing this. You will need two colors, a primary color and one of its neighbors, one of the secondary colors. I think for my turtle, I'm going to go with yellow and orange. Okay, so I have my primary color and my secondary color, and now we're going to start coloring our turtle shell. So we're going to start out in the center, and I'm going to create this really heavy-handed, that means I'm using a lot of oil pastel, dot right into the center of my turtle shell. And I don't care if I use my secondary or my primary color first. It's really up to you. And then on the outside of this space, I'm going to go ahead and use my secondary color. In my case, primary color in the center for me, secondary on the outside. I'm going around every edge here. Now here is where it gets interesting. I'm going to bring this just a little bit larger until the two start to meet. Perfect. Maybe even a little bit more. You really need a lot of oil pastel for blending. Now in between here, we're going to use our finger to blend our colors. And I typically take the darkest color and blend it into the lightest. But you can try the other way. Doesn't really matter. So what we're creating here with these two colors is that intermediate color. It's yellow-orange in this case. So I'm going to continue doing that around all of the edges, but I want to talk about oil pastel and how messy it can be. So I'm adding my yellow in the middle, just as I did before, and I'm bringing some of this orange on the outside. But notice I'm going to hit the edge of this paper. So making sure that I have some scrap paper under here is very, very important. I want to make sure that I'm protecting my table as I'm working. I'll continue with this throughout the turtle shell. Okay, that's as far as we're going to get right now. We will be using the shell, creating the body and the head and the tail very soon.